Hi guys, hi DSS family, community. Guys, we have worked very hard supporting this my team. Even you guys who have come to hate on my team and just like stress me out for good reasons and not so good reasons. I think you have made it, every time I see a comment saying Arsenal are going to lose to Crystal Palace, I'm like, not you again, DC, honestly. But I have had an amazing weekend. Yeah. A few weeks ago, after we won the Premier League, I said, you know what, I'm going to go for the parade. I got ready, booked everything. Thank you. So, probably not going to watch it because they're not as football crazy as me. Got a wonderful friend and family who helps me, who helped me looked after my son. I can't take my son with me to the parade, special needs, and he would absolutely lose his mind with all those people around. So my son and my daughter were at my friend's house, and they literally had them for me from 8 in the morning till last night. I think I picked them up at about midnight because I was up and down. I was up and down in London. My husband was like, I'm going with you. He came and picked me up. Well, actually, I was driving because his car was down. So it took me, he was supposed to be taking videos of me enjoying the experience, but he didn't do a great job. He took a video of everyone else having fun except me, which doesn't make sense, but I've got some great images, which I'm going to try and compile into some sort of story where I'm going to tell you exactly how I was feeling, how I was going. Because I just didn't know how mad it was going to be. I wasn't very well prepared, which is super amateurish. I should have known better, but I literally left the hotel at 20 past 12, making my way, and it's only in Woolwich. And I thought, oh, I'll go to Finsbury Park, meet up with some Zambians who were on the ground. They had already found a place. And as soon as I got on the Elizabeth line at Woolwich, everything went bad. Everything went wrong. Couldn't get on any trains. Finally made it as we were going from Moorgate towards Finsbury Park. We were told to alight to get off somewhere. Because, yeah, I think they dropped us off at King's Cross or something like that. And that was it. That was it for the rest of the day. But, the adrenaline, everything, it was brilliant. The worst day was Saturday evening, losing that final of the Champions League. I was low, but I think I prepared myself a lot better for losing it. I was prepared to be over ecstatic when we won it, but thank goodness I had the presence of mind to listen to everybody who said, if we lose the Champions League, it's not such a bad thing. And I was like, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I don't mind. Because at the beginning of the season, none of us thought we would be this successful. I thought we'd win the Champions League, but I wasn't sure about the Premier League because I thought Liverpool were going to be stronger than they ended up being, and they just fell off into nothingness despite the domination from last season. But we should have had like an image about how they were going to do, isn't it? Remember how they ended the season? After they won it, they lost interest. Their manager was the first in Ibiza dancing on the beach, very unprofessional. And Ancelot's now been sacked, and they're looking at Areola. If they don't give him time, they'll continue imploding. They need to give these managers time. And I'm actually so proud that the ownership at Arsenal are in love with Arteta. A lot of us sacked Arteta like 6 times in the last 6 seasons, didn't we? We're like, oh, he's not the guy. Da, 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 da. Even the management of the game on Saturday for me, I found some of those elements really unacceptable, and you can see some of his bad habits, his obsession with certain profiles, the way he wants us to play. He's definitely not the finished product, but his heart is in the right place, and he has battled for 6 seasons. He has battled to get us a Premier League title. So you know what? If you want to transfer me, Arteta, I am here to be transferred. Just sell me. Just sell me. Do whatever you need to do. And hopefully it works out because it ended up working out. Some of it was because of some injuries, but in that final, I could see the weakness immediately. The lineup came up. If you had picked the lineup I picked, the one I chose, would have won that easily 3-0, 3-1, but you didn't. So, yeah, you should have be a lot more pragmatic A lot more. No, a lot less. Pragmatic is good or bad. Anyway, it should have been a lot more positive. Our defense was amazing, but I knew even in that first half after we scored, I said, we are doing too much defending here because it would only take one error, which ended up costing us. We should have had that penalty on Madueke. It's a penalty every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. It should have been one on Saturday too, but it didn't happen. And we literally lost out on a coin toss. Yeah, we lost out on a coin toss. And as much as everybody is trying to mock me for that, it doesn't even make sense. Like what I like is all this mockery doesn't even hit. I used to bounce off it before. I used to just say, you know what, whatever, second place is actually really good, considering that other teams that fail don't finish second. They go and finish in, 15th or something. We were failing really high. You fail second. I mean, imagine failing and you come second. That is crazy. That is crazy impressive. And that is what Arteta, the standards Arteta have set. And I think that is where the resentment comes from sometimes, a lot of the times from people. So yeah, what I like about it is I know Arteta is going to work very hard to get us this trophy. Next season, guys, we're winning it. I thought we were going to win it, but next season he's going to win it. And I'm hoping he learned a valuable lesson on Saturday. There are players in there who should not have started that game, not because they're bad players, but it's about the balance of the team. There are certain things you can do when you're playing with certain people. Don't just put your favorite players in, a lineup that made us fail the last 3 seasons, the one we want to put in the Champions League final. What about playing the lineup that we were winning with when the guys you want were injured? Those are the players. The way you had the bravery to bring Miles Lewis-Skelly into that lineup is how you should have approached this final. I would have been here. I would have been the one now insulting everybody. I wouldn't insult anybody, but but it's good to have something to look forward to. This time next season, guys, we'll go together to the parade, isn't it? For a double, hopefully. But I also wanted sort of like to go through some of the players and their contributions, because you know what? I feel like our players this season, they've gone through a lot. They've gone through a lot. The fans have gone through a lot. For me, the fans are probably the winners of this whole thing. Now, if I can find Saturday, let's see, Arsenal. Let me start with our keeper, David Raya, our main keeper. Without him, we would be somewhere else. We'd definitely be in the Europa League, because there are some saves that really gave us the 3 points, because then sometimes the margin between 3 points and 1 point was David Raya. Kepa did not play a lot, and the games that he played in, like Kairat, was basically an awakening. I think we definitely need to do better in terms of like a second line goalkeeper, but also who with that skill set wants to come and sit on the bench behind David Raya. The way Arsenal play, and I don't think it's because Raya is like the best keeper in the world. It's just that the way Arsenal play, the way Arteta's got that back four set up, by the way, he's got the back four and the midfield set up almost perfectly. We need a keeper like David Raya, because when they launch in crosses, he can grab anything out of the air. You need to have a complete world to go past David Raya. Shot stopping, don't even ask him to do that. He's terrible at shot stopping. Kepa is great at shot stopping. If possible, they should have put him in for those penalties to help us, because Raya only went the correct way once in that shootout, and that is a huge super weakness. I would also like to see how Tommy Sedford is at keeping. I don't know how he's going to get that exposure. We really need to explore that. Defense, William Saliba was playing with an injury, which what he exacerbated. Apparently, he's out injured. So I don't know if he will even play. He's definitely going to go for the World Cup, but I don't know if he'll be fit enough to have a wonderful World Cup. I don't know. Sorry, Ben, but sorry, William. Saliba, but I am so, so proud of this guy and his contributions to the team. Mosquera, I think he has been magnificent, guys. I don't lie. He's a 21-year-old boy who is a centre back. He came to train to sort of like try and be the backup to Saliba. Because remember the last two seasons, previous seasons, we suffered because Saliba was out and then Gabi was out. So he went out and got backups in Hincapié and Mosquera, who have absolutely been sensational. Because now our problems went from centre back to wing backs. Crazy stuff. We are so unlucky sometimes. Mosquera was amazing in that final. He made one error. And then got a yellow card for time wasting. He had to be taken off. We could, as much as I can criticize as well, like we didn't get a penalty on Noni, he could have had a second yellow. But then again, guys, the rules are when you get a penalty, it is deemed punishment enough. That is the punishment, the penalty. If it is outside the box and you're last man, you get a red card because there's no advantage to a free kick outside the box. But in the penalty, you get in the penalty area, you get a penalty as your compensation for being brought down. So the player doesn't need to get a card for it unless it is maliciously done. So I'm sure Mosquera will be feeling terrible, but you know what? You can make up for it next season. We are here for it. And then you've got Ben White, who, by the way, has destroyed his body. His antics at the parade were legendary. I love it. This guy is absolutely a character. And you need this kind of profile in any team. You cannot have all these stodgy players, being over serious. And I think that's where, for me, the charm for Man City isn't there. I don't have any resentment towards them because literally I don't respect them because of their financial doping and their sugar daddy business kind of thing. So I can admire the football they are playing the same way as Paris, PSG. But you didn't earn it. And that is my issue. But some of their players, they're really very little humor. I love Ben White for being able to have a laugh. Hincapié, I thought was sensational. What a buy. It looks like we are going to get him now. He's coming. We've finalized it. He's going to be an Arsenal player next season on a permanent deal, and it will be worth it. It will be worth it. And his most memorable incident was that game at Burnley where we saw his bum very firm. Big Gabi, best defender in the world, hands down, missed a penalty in the final of the Champions League. So sorry, Big Gabi, you deserve to score that. But it happens, and you all know, we love you. You won us a Premier League. Forget it. We can do it another time. Next season, you're going to score. Jiri and Timber, huge miss. We missed him so much, but not in the match against PSG, personally. I don't think, because I watched the one last season where we played PSG and he got cooked by that Kvaratskhelia several times. I personally think that Mosquera did a better job on Kvaratskhelia than Timber did. Calafiori, again, a player I wish we could have started, but Arteta wanted to play it so safe. Sometimes he should have just said, you know what, let's go lose properly. I don't mind anyway. It's sort of, in hindsight, this loss to PSG is going to age a lot better than we feel right now. Marley Salmon, we didn't see him. I don't know. When I watched the only time I watched him, it didn't look very convincing to me. It was in Mansfield. It was very like Bambi kind of thing. So thank you though for at least being available. Learn from Miles, learn from Ethan, and basically learn even from Zubamendi. You know what I mean? New player in the team, learn from Max Dowman and try and get yourself to that level. Basically, you guys, in fact, learn from Miles. Miles is the most mature 19-year-old boy. And that's the guy you need to really be thinking, how can I be more like Miles? Martin Odegaard, my captain, he has come up under a lot of criticism. Definitely not a perfect player, but he leads by example. He could have done better in that final, but let's be honest, we are playing the best team in the world. We have to admit it, we're not the best team in the world. We're playing the best team in the world. It's okay. You don't have to go there and, but the problem with PSG is just like when you see the touches they take, you're like, hey, I feel like we are not playing the same sport. I don't even know how they struggle to score against us. We neutralized them 100%. They had to start doing crazy things, trying to get us sent off for them to get an advantage. That is also a skill set, and they did it perfectly. Kudos to them. Norgard, I was really disappointed. I wanted him to have a bigger say in our journey. He didn't. Every time he played, he did nothing wrong. But it's just that there's so much competition in that midfield, and Arteta is very confused half the time. He doesn't even know what he's doing in midfield half the time. Let's be honest, isn't it? Let's be honest. Trossard, I thought he had a very bad spell at some point. The majority of the season was terrible. And then he came back in the last 5 games and he just turned our season around. That blip we had, the April madness, he came back and he was just like, guys, I've got you. He was instrumental in finishing our league properly. It was beautiful. Mikel Merino injured. Shame. This guy started our season off to a very good start. He is coach. Honestly, there are players who are not flashy, but they're amazing. I agree with Merino being one of our best players for sure. Definite leader. And everyone thinks he's going to probably one day coach Arsenal. I would like to see it because he reminds me a lot of Mikel Arteta. Martin Zubimendi and I had some issues through the season. I don't understand what he does for the team, but you know what I understand is he kept us on top of the league for such a long time. So whatever you did, Martin, you did a great job, but I want you to take ownership. I want you to be a leader. I want you to stop thinking you're not good enough. Yeah, I need you to figure out a way of taking more risks. No back pass, no side passes. The ball needs to go forward. 90% of the balls you get should be going forward. That's it. Declan Rice, player of the year for Arsenal. This is a leader. People are asking for him to be a captain. I am not so sure. Let's see who's going to be captain at the World Cup for England so that we can see if he'll be one of them. I would like to think he should be the captain, but he's very emotional. He's very emotional. Saka is, I think, the second captain, I think. Yeah, I don't know how it would be controlling the game because, like sometimes when you work too hard, you think everyone else is a bit like, foolish. His engine is unmatched. I don't know how it would do as our captain. If he is, we'll see. There's just too much pressure when you're a captain. Does he need that added pressure? Not sure. Miles Lewis Skelly. Oh, Miles. You guys have, if you have been on DSS from the beginning, you know my obsession with Miles Lewis Skelly. I have seen this guy, like when you watch kids in Africa, when you're walking around and you see this boy knows how to play football. For example, Miles Lewis Skelly, even when he was playing out of position left back, this boy had everything it took. The way he brings down the ball, the way he gets the ball, he tries to turn, the way he shields the ball. If he's shielding that ball, you're not going to get anywhere near it. Make him your primary focus in that midfield to progress the ball. That is what you need. You need somebody to be able to transition, somebody who can get the ball and push it back out, recycle it, send it back. This is our guy. Yeah. Mikel, do we have to tell you everything? And you're getting paid millions. Me, I'm doing this for free. Actually, it's not free, guys, because I'm in the partnership program now. So do not forget to share this because YouTube think I'm something and you guys have taken me there. So I really love and appreciate it. But yes, the point still stands. Mikel, you need to listen. Miles is the guy. Max Dowman, I can't wait to see how he is going to improve over the next year. He's still like a baby teenager. But we can use this guy. Because what has saved us this season is being able to bring in different, next season we need to even do it on a cleverer, more cynical way. You think, you're going to start Saka, bring in, just mess up our opposition because we cannot go back with our same, defensive game plan next season. We need to do that, the defensive thing, do it, continue, don't change for anybody, but put in some spice, put some cloves in, some coriander, use the fresh one, not even the dry one. Make sure that there's something. The spice needs to make sense. Let's be honest. And then attackers now, Bukayo Saka. Who is Bukayo Saka to Arsenal? Bukayo Saka is Arsenal. I remember the first day I saw him, I was like, who is that? Who is that? From the first day, you could tell this boy, the first day I saw him get the ball on that wing, I was like, this boy is going to be the one. And he is the one. Beautiful. This season has not been very successful because he has been injured. He has been injured through it. He sat out for such a long time. And then when he came back, it was good. I guess PSG wasn't great because he just couldn't get, no success really. I mean, you're playing PSG, but he cooked, he was all right. He was all right. Let's not talk too much about that. Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Jesus injuries have finished him. He would have been one of those players we could have used to, change it up a little bit. But to be honest, I feel so bad that he isn't. We couldn't realize, his dream. Eze. What a dream signing. It hasn't been a perfect run for him. There was a time he was sat out and we cried for him to play more. When he came and played more, he produced some of the most memorable moments in Premier League history for Arsenal. Champions League history. That go against Leverkusen. That is going to be shown to our kids. I've got kids, so our grandkids, as one of the best Champions League goals ever scored. Ever. That was a stunning goal, man. Against a hat-trick against Tottenham. A double is it hat-trick and then one? Anyway, whatever. Anyway, he scores a lot. But we need to figure out a way of playing him as much as possible. So at the moment, our team is not balanced. That is what I'm trying to say. We are not balanced. We've got some individuals. And I don't know, Arteta, has won the league with a very imbalanced group of players. But I feel like this whole thing, the coaches are going to sit down and they're going to figure out. It's going to be mathematical. And I'll show you the comments he made about PSG team. Guys, we're about to be the most scary team in England, about to be the most scary team in England. Anyway, Gabriel Martinelli, my guy. Oh, Gabriel Martinelli. The same problems I've had with him over the years, consistency, decision-making, but I feel like it is not always his fault. It's the way we play. Play more central. I said, play more central. It doesn't work on that wing, guys. And I'm not blaming him. I blame our coach who wants him to do things he can't do. But otherwise, this boy is a quality player wherever he goes, if he leaves. I hope he doesn't leave. I hope nobody leaves this summer because we've won the league. So let's do it in January so it feels better. But yeah, Victor Gyökeres. It's so weird that when you see his statistics, they're amazing. But somehow you start feeling as if he hasn't achieved that much. This guy has scored 1 million goals. I feel bad for him because Arteta prefers Kai Havertz to Gyökeres. Put Gyökeres up front. Those two, Bene Hakimi and Pacho and what's his name, the other one, Marquinhos, they would not have left. They would have been trapped trying to stop Victor Gyökeres. Would have had somebody, an outlet to get the ball out of midfield to the front. Play my friend who runs all day long. Anyway, Noni Madueke, my guy. I love Noni Madueke. I need that chaos in my life. There's nothing, and his attitude, I think, is something, like I said, you cannot have a team of serious individuals. Saka is a serious guy, very serious, but this guy doesn't apologize for being cheeky, he's another Ben White, but in a different way. I love his attitude. I think he's a player who can bring that kind of warmth into the side. And I feel like it has majorly been a success. He's scored some goals in Europe. He's scored some goals in the Premier League. He has made some mistakes. He has some bad games. But overall, I love Noni Madueke. Kai Havertz, the reason we won the league is because Kai Havertz was injured. Because Arteta would have tried to shoehorn him even when it wasn't needed to be shoehorned. He needs to find a way of playing Kai Havertz which works for everybody. He likes Saka, Kai, and Odegaard thing there. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Stop doing that. Find another way of playing Kai. How it works. He scored the winning goal, but we didn't do anything else afterwards. It's all about winning at the end of it, which is what we did in the end. And Kai came up with some clutch goals. The guy is absolutely fantastic, Kai Havertz. But I feel like unless Arteta figures out how to balance this team with Kai in it, who he loves, we are absolutely in big trouble. But to be honest, we are not. Who's going to compete with us next season? the way things are going. If we just decide to continue the way we've been going this season, yeah, we'll continue because apart from Manu, I think Manu have been the better side, but they've played like how many games this season? 20. You can't even compare. You can't even compare. I'm just seeing this goal, rewatching the goal that Kai Havertz scored. Marquinhos was just like, such a shame that they won, actually. Every time I watch it, I feel so bitter. And then let us rate Arteta's management of the league so far. For me, Arteta, like I've said, he has made some bad calls, some great calls. Some of them, the best calls he has made were because some of the players were injured. Like I've said, he was forced to make them. And then, like, just a losing streak. There was a time I said Rice needs to go to Arteta and tell him he doesn't want to play with Martin Zubimendi because it's not working. Rice was looking ragged and tired some points in the season. Like, you could see him every time he'd come for an interview, be like, I'm so tired, because he was absolutely doing everything in that midfield. Zubimendi was doing other things which I didn't appreciate, and I know I didn't appreciate them. Just because, like, they're just some players you're like, I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand what I'm supposed to be seeing. And I was happy to hear other people's opinions to say, oh, this is what he's doing. I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay, then. Well, I don't like it. But he needs to find a balance. I'm putting all this pressure. I need Mikel to find a balance so that everybody, he can have two and a half teams that work well together, that get results together. The pieces fit like a puzzle. This is a puzzle with all the pieces are sort of like scattered and they're not together. And I think until he does that, he will really continue seeing this sort of like desperate last minute goal, changes, one goal, 1-0 wins. But if we do another season where we've got like 10 1-0 wins, yeah, I'll take it if we're going to win the trophy. But one thing I know is like these tones about Arsenal never winning the Champions League. I need this season for everybody who's going to join me on my page. We need to elevate the conversation to analyzing football. This mockery of Arsenal, the lack of, like, it's just ridiculous for me. I want to analyze the way Manchester United play. I want to be able to pick up a phone and talk to my friends and say, what's happening with your midfield? Why is that player doing that? I don't want to say, oh, Man U haven't won the Premier League in 10 years. I'm sorry, but that's why I'm doing this, because I've not been able to find, apart from one, Terry does it, Goldbridge used to do it, but, he's making too much money now to do proper football analysis. I need football analysis that just talks about pieces fitting together, about the football, not about the fan base, not, hating on AFTV because they make a fortune talking about football. When you listen to some of the commentary on Arsenal Fan TV, it is more professional and nuanced than the stuff you get on professional, like Talk Sport. They are basically just trolls now, Arsenal fans are talking from like, I don't like this, I would rather see that, and then you are basically making into a propaganda because some guy has managed to get it into a big, huge company making money. Yeah, the reason it's making money is because you're not offering anything that people want to listen to. Everyone's gone now online. Now you're joining in with your own podcast, trying to be like him, but still slandering him and making up all sorts of allegations about him and other fan channels being, opportunistic. At the end of the day, I think your gig is up. Let us get the football conversation back on track. It's not a hate fest, hate watch, or that tribe. Honestly, it's very disappointing. I really, if you know somebody, if you know a channel that just talks about football, about football analysis, let me know. I'd like some of those on my feed so I can watch it. I'm going to be watching hopefully a lot of the World Cup. I'll be doing some World Cup reviews and previews. Let's talk about proper football the way it should be talked about. I've just been arguing with my brother about football, by the way. He is so biased. He didn't give Noni that penalty. He's jealous. He supports Real Madrid, you see. So I was arguing with him. I think I won the argument. He thinks he won the argument. But that's banter. It stops becoming banter when you take it seriously as if, argue it out, laugh at the end. But if you are just calling me every time the Arsenal gets a negative result, and then you don't message me or call me when Arsenal win the Premier League to say, you guys, finally you've won it, congratulations, but you guys were lucky. Even something stupid like that. But you ignore me winning the Premier League, and then you message me after we lose narrowly, or not even narrowly, we didn't even lose. After losing on penalties, after not winning the penalty shootout in a Champions League, you message me nonsense. I'm really disappointed with, it makes you realize the kind of people you're associating with, that they deeply resent you. That is all it is for me. It's a deep resentment that you, despite being prodded, and I prodded this person, say, you know what? You haven't even said congratulations for Arsenal to have won the Premier League. You brush it aside. The minute Arsenal lost to PSG in the final, you send me a stinking message just to pour some of that hateful poison to give you. All you are giving now to me, to Daliso, is hateful poison, pouring it into me when I'm on a high. I am on a Premier League high. I am not too upset that we've lost a Champions League final. I'm disappointed because who wouldn't be? But I'm not upset. I'm fine with it. So you are mocking me because you know what, yeah? Fantastic, another opportunity to pour my hateful, divisive nastiness just to see me miserable, hoping that I'm miserable. No, I'm not actually. I'm having a great time. I even know next season will be better. I've got something to look forward to. So yeah, it's really disappointing that but it shows, for me, it highlights just the kind of people you've got in your life if that is all they've got. At least some people were like, oh, you've done it, you guys. At least you went to a final and this is what happened. I wish you guys had approached the game differently. Blah, blah, blah. Not, yeah. But yeah, there's enough people. You watch people like that. Watch people like that. When it matters to you, if you've got friends like that, they will not be there. Do not ever sacrifice any of your time, resources, emotional or otherwise, wasted on people like that because they're not your genuine friends. Otherwise, this season for me has been a ride. I've been here, flashing, stressing. I'm like, I am not made for this kind of thing. I am not made for it. I was not made for it. I don't know how I'm going to cope. I don't know how I made it this far because, But yeah, otherwise, that was our season, guys. This is the recap of how I felt through the season and how everyone is now in sort of like my bad books because they just lack genuine love for football and for me, basically. But all you guys who have watched this program, this whatever, I really, really appreciate all your support. And hopefully you're going to join me for the World Cup coverage because I'm going to try and get you all the good bits, the analysis, the games, post-match previews, everything like that. And then we see how Donald Trump's World Cup is going to go. Otherwise, guys, thank you for joining me this season. And I'm looking forward to actually continuing this journey with you. Thank you. And I'll be talking to you soon. Signing out for the season 2025-2026. It's me, your girl, Daliso, and ciao.